car number or if it's a name that is not driving, but he just wants a short story. The Sickest of the Sick basically awards somebody that goes the extra mile, kind of provides some additional stuff that really is all about the spirit of drag and drive. These could be a couple of runs right here that not only solidify their class wins, but could set history on the left side. So right side, the El Toro Mustang, the Motion Raceworks car that last year Blaine Stark piloted to victory. This year, Louis De Leon out of Fuel Tech is piloting the Coyote powered single turbo Mustang. He comes in here in Rowdy Radial, leading the category. Left side, Dave Deal. Dave Deal is looking for a get it. 7 flat with a 0. And a 477 at 150. That will solidify the other side. Look at Brent LaSalle and Doug Cook as they celebrate. As Louis De Leon, the first time ever that he has competed on a drag and drive, and he will get an orange helmet, 477 at 150. With the now Fuel Tech commanded Mustang on the right-hand side, 7 flat for the Deals at 203. Now that will get him a 6-second average, and it'll get him the class victory, but it will not get him 2 of the other ones, so they will come back and try again. Here comes our next matchup. Lamar Swindell Jr., number 2 in Super Street, right-hand side. The nitrous-fed, leaf spring equipped 72 Camaro out of Texas. It's our nitrous car. He's been in the mid-7s most of the week. He'll face number 2 in Rowdy Radial, Tanner Stover. The LS Turbo Swap 68 Chevelle left side. And he'll go 762 at 172. And on the opposite side, Tanner going 498 at 153. That'll lock up the number 2 spot for Tanner Stover. And a 762 at 172 for Lamar Swindell is right in line with what he's been running, and that should lock up the number 2 spot in the Super Street category. Here comes our next pair, Craig Douglas on the right-hand side. He's running in heavy metal. I believe he's currently sitting in the number 2 spot with the sassy, grassy green 1970 Dodge Dart. He'll line up with Clark Rosenstengel. Rosenstengel was leading the heavy metal category for most of the week, and then yesterday had transmission and rear end problems, dropped out of the lead to Jesse Nelson. He would like to run a low 7-second time slip and be able to get back to the top of the category. He leaves before the tree is activated, so he won't get a time slip, but Douglas looking for another 7-second time slip and will get it. 785 at 173 for Craig Douglas. That is his best run of the week, and it'll put all the pressure on Jesse Nelson. So his average is going to be somewhere in the high 7.8 second range, and it should lock up at least a top 3 finish, depending on what Clark and Jesse Nelson can do. So Craig Douglas, who got a top 3 spot during SICK at the Rock, now getting his second one here at SICK Summer. We will line up Greg Edwards next, right-hand side, the 7-second Sunset Orange Metallic Camaro, going up against the Chevelle on the left-hand side. Currently leading in the Pro Street class. He's looking for something in the 840 range, and he'll go 857 at 154 instead. That should be good enough. Let's see. Yep, that should be good enough for Swindell to lock up the top spot. In that category. Greg Edwards is going to stage the Camaro for another shot. Car has run a bunch of 780, 790 throughout the week. What does he lay down right here? He's going to go 792 at 180. No shootout yet. See if he gets it stopped. No, it looks like he's going to go into the overflow.
I was like, what?
Sickest spin, dude.
Yeah.
And that'll bring up your current leader in modified right side, your current leader in heavy metal left side. As we start to get these categories where the leaders will come in right off the bat and try to lay down either a safety run or a solid run. And so far, everybody is opting for the solid run. Jesse Nelson left side. The 1970 twin-turbo big block Chevelle 775 has been his best run of the week. 783 is his current average. He needs to put a little bit of distance between himself and Craig Douglas and Clark Rosenstengel to lock up the category. He will stage here against the modified ride of Dan Hirsch, the 1965 Mustang. They've been pecking away at this thing, getting it quicker and quicker so far. Both of them find the hook. Hirsch without first. Now Nelson coming climbing back in. 776 at 174. 813 at 162. And for Jesse Nelson, that could very easily lock it up unofficially, because we don't know what Clark is going to run if he gets all three gears back. At 813 at 162 should in fact lock up modified for Dan and Chris Hirsch. And after a lot of work to that car and a lot of changes for them to come back and be able to just continue to get better and better, and the car makes some very solid runs, they should be happy with that. That'll get them a great average and probably the Sigma Mag orange helmet. That'll bring up our next pair of cars. The Buick Skylark left side, the Dodge Dart right-hand side. The Skylark left-hand side is running in our heavy metal category. It's a 67 model Buick Skylark. That's James Jenkel. Jenkel has been in the bottom nines most of the week. He'll line up with the Rum Runner 74 Dart. He's running in Radial. That's Dennis Began. Began right now is playing top five with the Rum Runner. And he'll go 645 at 109. That is probably a safety pass. The car is running much quicker than that. 905 at 148 on the other side for the Buick. That brings up our next pair. The nitrous-fed Oldsmobile powered 67 Cutlass left side. That is Rovic Ahuja. He comes out of the Yukon. It's been in a 950, 960 most of the week. He'll line up with John Moore, the More Than Speed 4x4 stance, LS and turbo swapped, 2011 model Crown Victoria. He's running in heavyweight, or the heavy metal class, and he has been in the 840s, 850 range. To the top end, 855 with a 6 at 157 on the right side, 950 with a 4, his second straight 950 for Rovic, and 141. We'll bring up TJ Linebaugh and Blaine Stark on the left side. All right, attention in the pits, attention in the pits. Radial cars, A and B group radials. Your lanes will close in about 14 minutes. Radial cars. Your lanes will close in about 14 minutes. A and B group radial, A and B group radial. Lanes will close in about 14 minutes. So TJ Linebaugh comes up on the right-hand side. That is a 1978 model Fairmont wagon. He has been in the 860, 850 range, currently sitting in the number 5 spot in the category. If he lays down an 8.50 or an 8.51, he could climb into the number 4 spot here. On the opposite side of the racetrack, Blaine Stark, last year's Radial champion. Now he vacated the seat of El Toro to jump behind the seat of the family 55 wagon with the stick shift. His father, Tom, giving him a little final pat on the hood, saying, come on, let's get another 9-second pass. Right now, they're averaging in the 9s, and Blaine would like nothing more than be able to get one more. Little bit of tire chatter there. Power player, cutting into the finish line first on the right-hand side. The Blaine will go 989 at 136, and that will complete his week and give him a 9-second average, and Tom says, I will take it. TJ gets out of the gas early and goes 1087. Not sure what happened there, but for Blaine Stark, folks, with a car that had not made a 9-second lap until they made Rocky Mountain Race Week a couple weeks ago, and now for the second straight time, they secure a top 3 finish in the stick shift category. Tom, great job. Blaine is going to be doing things, folks. Mark my words, you will see him on a professional team without too much time in the future. He is really getting into this community, and he's got the drive to get there. Here comes our current leader in 6th Street Race, Brian Acton, left side. He is racing the Josh the Streetcar Shenanigans Performance, the Pontiac Trans Am. Acton looking to nail down the 850 category, 854 with a 2 at 157. It's not a bad offering, but it'll not lock it up. On the opposite side, 863 at 157. I think that is the best run for Josh. Is that correct, Nick? Is that his best run ever? I like it. 863 for the Josh Lappins, ladies and gentlemen. He will be signing autographs later. No doubt he's going to come out of that Pontiac Trans Am happy that he just made that run. That'll bring up our next car, KJ Kroger. The car looked like it was not going to be able to make it here. They actually had to weld the cylinder head to be able to get that S10 pickup truck fixed and back on the road. He stages up right-hand side, left-hand side in the Mustang. The New Edge. That is Patrick Sist. And it looks like both of them might have moved out of the beams. Yeah, it looks like Patrick rolled forward, so they're going to push them both back and let them restage. So Sist is running in Street Race 275 left side. And KJ Kroger, I believe, is also running in one of the 6 street race categories. He's also running Street Race 275. All right, attention in the pits. I need Terry Forrester Jr. Terry Forrester Jr., I need you to the second floor of the tower, please. Terry Forrester Jr. Terry Forrester Jr. Looking like both cars having problems. Both cars are slowing, but they will complete the run. An 1154 at 92 miles an hour for KJ, 1385 at 69 miles an hour on the opposite side. And KJ looks like he might be pulling over to the side here. He may just be waiting for Patrick Sist to come around him. And yes, it looks like KJ will make the turn. That'll bring up CJ Durbin. And the naturally aspirated ride of Corey Peanut, the 74 Duster left-hand side, currently sitting number 2 in the naturally aspirated field. He's been in the bottom 10s most of the week. And CJ Durbin running in Radial on his S10 pickup truck. 522 at 139, that is his best run of the week. And a 984 on the other side for Corey Pan. I think that is going to be right in line with his best run of the week. Actually, it is his best run of the week by 1/100 of a second. He went 985 yesterday. He goes 984 right here. And CJ Durbin betters his best of 534. That'll bring up Derek Drake next. He's running the 63 Nova on the left side. He's running in the Rowdy Radial class. He will stage up here against Jeremy Ortiz. Ortiz, part of the... it is an absolute just... I mean, the fact that you've got three cars that are separated by 0.06 of a second at the top of the Street Race 275 category, and Ortiz is in second by a single foul behind Mike McMahon. The man who is leading is sitting in the water box behind him. So Jeremy would like nothing more than to lay down a good run here, close as he can to an 8.50 or slower, and kind of set a dagger through McMahon's heart. Jeremy's first lap goes 8:48 with a 7. He's 13 thousandths of a second too quick here, which means he can't turn it in. He will have to come back. On the opposite side, 588, 129 for the Chevy 2 Nova. Now McMahon will get his chance. McMahon ran his first drag and drive here last year at Six Summer. This is an ex-grudge car they call Pimp Money. On day number 2, McMahon and Ortiz both laid down matching 8.507 numbers. They were not running each other, but they did it about a half an hour to 45 minutes apart. Keep in mind, you can't run quicker than 8.50, as I just talked about. So McMahon would like nothing more than to lay down an 8.500 and lock it up here, because he is in the lead by 1,000. So what he does... 851 with a 3 at 161. That is a solid first shot, and that is going to make things difficult on Jeremy Ortiz. 971 at 140 on the opposite side for Joe Fritz in the 2018 Z01 Camaro, as that'll complete his week in the Street Race 275 category.
My skin's turning red.
Yeah, she's inside, she's in the air. She just texted me that she's not doing well, so.
Ready or set? My farmer's tan. Take your seats off.
If I didn't change shirts, though, I would have been roughed up.
That brings up our next pair of cars, and that's he's racing Blake Bushin on the right-hand side. A 958, 138 for Ken Cuddle. That will solidify naturally aspirated for the second straight year. He backed up his Six Summer win from last year in that teal 1970 model Chevrolet Chevelle. That will solidify his victory unofficially, because again, I have to defer to Tanya and her team to be able to get everything figured out about whether or not that falls within all the parameters and everything. But based on the numbers, it should lock up his naturally aspirated title. Blake Mushin goes 993 with a 1. And that is a tad quick. He came in the number 3 spot, and that'll lengthen his number of runs that are his average. I'm saying everything but what I need to. It'll lengthen the number of, or the amount of spread between the 4 time slips he has by 7 thousandths. Now here comes Dean Anderson left side, and banging Bob Gruber on the opposite side. Now Dean is currently in the number 3 spot in Street Race 275. So a good number here could take him to the top, because number 1 to number 3 is only separated by 0.06 of a second. Bangin' Bob Gruber on the right-hand side, the stick shift pro-charged Mustang. He is your defending stick shift champion from last year. He would love nothing more than to lay down an 8-second time slip right here and solidify his second straight victory. They had all kinds of supercharger problems yesterday with the belts getting flung off of it when it spun, so Bob would like nothing more than to lay down a one and done right here on the right-hand side. He's crawling into the pre-stage beam gingerly. He wants to make sure he can get it set just right. Dean is in, Bob is in, and we are off. Dean will go 8:52.6, 9:13 at 156 miles an hour for Bob Gruber. And I think that's going to give him a pretty good chance of solidifying it, but Nick is probably going to bring it back just to make sure. Unless Dan Watts can get into the 8s, I think there's a pretty good chance that that is going to hang on. An 8:52 with a 6 for Dean Anderson also will help him a little, but it's not going to make him that much quicker. He needed probably a 51 or a 50 to be able to get there. Corvette right-hand side, the Chevrolet Camaro. He'll line up against the Mopar on the left-hand side. That is Zach Roos, the 74 Duster. He is running in the Street Race 275 category. And a lot of tire spin. And because of the tire spin, he is not going to run the number he wants. 864 at 141 as Eric lets out of the gas early, probably thinking he was going to go too quick, but in reality, he probably could have kept his foot down because he's over a 1/10 of a second off the number. And on the other side, 936, 145 for Zeus. All right, attention in the pits, attention in the pits. A and B group radials. A and B group radials. Your lanes are now closed. A and B group radials. A and B group radials. Your lanes are now closed. Do not enter the staging lanes. A and B group radials. A and B group radials. Your lanes are now closed. All right, so it looks like we have just a little bit of cleanup work to do here on the left side. And then we will get ready to go with our next pair. Jay Grabiak comes up next, left-hand side, the beautiful 1967 Chevy 2 Nova. One of, I believe there are 4 Grabiaks that are competing with us here this week. He'll line up against the pickup truck on the right-hand side. That's Ryan Bundy's 39 Chevy pickup truck. Grabiak on his way to a 9-second time, so he'll go 9:54 at 139 left-hand side. He's running in the bullseye category. And the right-hand side, the pickup truck having all kinds of problems. Just waiting for a exit stage left. And we will send the next pair to do the burnouts. Mark Arblaster sitting right-hand side in our next matchup, wheeling the Chevy Malibu. And he will stage up here against the Pro Street ride of Tim Sharp. Sharp is currently sitting in the number 2 spot in Pro Street. He has run back-to-back mid-8-second time slips, so yeah, that Dodge Ram does have a little bit of lightning on it in the rust category around the wheel wells, but it has gone 8:52, and that's going to take some people's lunch money. They probably wouldn't think that thing runs that quick. Now, on the opposite side of the racetrack, the Malibu, currently by continuing to compete, he has gone 9:07 after barbecuing the power glide on Xavier. Shot here, 881 on the pickup, 1061 at 107. That was not the pass he needed. So the Overall title of Unlimited will remain in doubt for a little while longer. Randy Bellahart and Cody Poston waiting their turn. And both of these drivers are running the same category, 6 street race. Bellahart number 2, Cody Poston number 3. Now Cody has a chance to get into the top 3, but with an 855 average and then the next car with an 852 average, it's going to be very difficult considering that Cameron Alley already has an 851 to his credit, and Brian Acton just ran an 854, so I'm going to say that Cody has a very slim chance to make it into the top 3, because the guy that he would possibly take the spot from if he had an issue is in the left lane, Randy Bellahart. You know, the interesting thing, folks, we have all 3 power adders represented in the top 3, nitrous, supercharger, and turbos, 1 each. Bellahart, the nitrous-fed, Pontiac-powered, yep, there is a Pontiac in it, 68 Firebird. Now, this guy originally started doing drag and drive with the Mammoth 2-ton Plus Grand Prix. It was a green 1970 Grand Prix. It ran like 960s, and then just, I guess Randy finally figured out, hey, there's some weight savings to be had, so he swapped the car, and now he goes 850s. So Bellahart left-hand side looking for something with 8.50, and Cody is looking for the same exact thing. Can either one of them get it? Bellahart's in. Cody joins him. And better chance. He goes 854.1 at 151, and that is not the number he wanted. Cody was a little soft in the middle and goes 870 with an 8, and that also will not help him either. Now, Bellahart's 854.1 is good, but it is not good enough. He's going to have to come back again. Because considering that Cameron Alley has an 851 with a 4, Alley would leapfrog him in the standings into the number 2 spot. And if I had the time, I would do the math and tell you where Acton sits after his run. And I'll probably be impatient and do it anyway. That'll bring up the heavy metal category rides. Eric Burrows in Monte Carlo. He's lined up against the pickup truck. He goes 859 at 159, 905 at 146. On the opposite side of the racetrack for Alex Titzer, another one of those top 5 last names. I mean, beer is well, never mind. I'm not going to say which one's better because they're both equally good. That'll bring up Josh Lester and Eric Wiegand. Eric in the turbocharged 1966 Le Mans. Eric and Christine Wiegand, both of them driving Pontiacs. Their son also has a Pontiac. Christine is running in Dial Your Own. Eric is running in Pro Dial Your Own. They'll line up with Josh Lester in his high school car. 1978 model Olds Cutlass. There is an Oldsmobile and a single turbo underneath that hood. And it is the first time he has run that car in drag and drive competition with us. He has run a previous, postbox style 93 Cutlass, but he has problems here. He's going to pull over to the side, I think. 883 at 153. I believe that is about what Eric ran earlier this week. It actually matches what he ran here to start the week, to the 1,000th. So he's got the Byron tune-up figured out. 1763 on the opposite side. That brings up our next pair of cars. This is your current incoming leader in Pro Dial Your Own on the right-hand side. Ken Zachman. He will face, I believe, running in the 6th street race category, the C10 pickup truck, of Robert Perry. Perry's 87 model full-size pickup truck. He's been 921, 922, and 909 for a 917 average. Both of them are in, and off we go. Mustang is looking for something between 887 and 890. Goes 891 with a 4. 911 for the pickup truck. That is right in line with the 907, and they seem quite happy with it. That'll complete their week, and Perry can say he has completed his first 6 summer, and now with a couple of low 9-second time slips after back-to-back 9.2-second time slips. That brings up our next pair of cars. Andrew Heinsted's 1979 Fairmont comes up next, left side. He's been in the between 924 and 944 in a lineup with the Pro Touring style Nova on the right-hand side. And will lay himself down a 978, 904 at 147. That is the best run for Andrew Heinstead this week. So a pretty solid lap there for Heinstead. Nick Barnett goes 970. And I believe that is Barnett's best run of the week as well. That'll bring up the 2017 Nicky ZL1 Camaro. Left-hand side, Stefano Bimmi. He has done 6 summer all 3 years. He's going to line up with the Chevrolet Corvette on the opposite side of the racetrack. Robert Sidley, that's a 2011 model Corvette, and he is running in the stick shift category. He's currently sitting in the number 4 spot, and he's got a 1044 average. It's not bad, but he's got a long way to go to get around the 980 stick average at number 6. Average at 146 for the Corvette. So 934 for the Krypton green car of Stefano Bimmi. That is his second best run of the week. He went 930 with an 8 yesterday. Here comes our next pair. Mike Puckett left side. The car he calls Charlie Sheen. Look at Charlie Sheen. Lined up here with Mike Silver's Nova at an 885 at 154 for Mike Barnetti. His wife's like, wow, that kind of caught me off guard a little bit. She had to maintain her breathing there. After Mike ran his personal best early in the week, and then he just looked like he was going to put Charlie Sheen on his lid. Surprise, yeah, that's never happened before. Charlie Sheen has never gone on his lid before. Yes, sir. It's 8-second pace, 994 for Reimers at 134, 1124 at 119 as Wender slows significantly. That car has been in the 8s already this week, but both of them now, by completing those runs, can say that they do have time slips and they have completed 6 summer. They are now finishers. Now they can come back and they can do it again during the all run if they don't like those time slips. But that's currently what we're sitting on as we continue to make work here as the next pair sitting in the water box. So Rocco Dorigo coming up on the left side. He is currently sitting in the number 3 spot in Pro Dial Your Own. The Z06 Corvette looking to solidify his average if he can. Or not his average, excuse me, his spread between the quickest and slowest time slips. And it looks like we are just waiting on some cleanup work as Reimar's car dumped some fluid out of it. So we'll be on hold here for just a minute. And Dane Ross right side. Rocco goes 11-12 at just 89 miles an hour, having problems. 10 flat with a 3, 143. Quarantine cars, keep in mind you can come to the lanes at any time if you are first, second, or third, as well as quicker than 850. You can come to the lanes at any time to make your next shot. Both cars sounded like they were having some issues. 997 at 141 left-hand side. And that is the first 9-second time slip of the week. For Robbie Price and Sheila's Dream, it got real close over the last 3 days, and they finally got it. 997 at 141 on the final day for a car that probably weighs slightly more than most pickup trucks. That'll bring up our next pair, the twin Whipple supercharged Camaro right-hand side. Will line up against the Ford Mustang. Facing against the Camaro, 874, 157 for David Morahan. That is David's best pass by about 0.08 of a second. 971 at 147 for the Mustang on the opposite side of the racetrack. That'll lock up a top 3 spot in Super Street for David Morahan in the Chevy Camaro on the right-hand side. That'll bring the Buick Skylark back around, as well as John Moore, the 4x4 stance Crown Victoria. When he first brought this car out, it was LS swapped with a a supercharger on top, and ran in the mid to low 10s. And since then, he has gotten a little bit more aggressive with his program, just slightly more. I mean, it runs in the 850s now, but the 4x4 stance remains. Look at the big wheel stand right here. Attempting to do the three-wheel shuffle right there for about 60 feet. 843 at 164 deep stage for John Moore.
They both had it.
A 1019 at 109 after pedaling out of the wheel stand right-hand side. That brings Colin Nowak and Dennis Began back. I believe this is Nowak's first shot at the racetrack here. The supercharged Mustang left side. He's running in Pro Dial. His best pass of the week so far has been 897 for the supercharged ride. We first saw him at Sick at the Rock. He'll line up with Dennis Bacon. Dennis had kind of a slow run to start his session. We'll see if he puts all the beans to it on this one. And Nowak out of the gas early again. 588, 104. 953 at 139 on the opposite side for Colin Nowak. So that was not a full tilt tune-up for Dennis Bacon. That was probably about, in his words, half a bean count. It wasn't quite all the way there.
Cut the sleeves off.
You laughing at my hat? That'll bring Rovik Ahusha back in the nitrous-fed Cutlass, and Brian Acton. Acton locked in a tough battle right here in the 6th street race category. He needs something better than what he made on the first lap, 8:54.2. Will actually lose him the lead if he turned it in, so he needs something quicker. Based on the 8 mile, if he can get it right here. No, actually he won't, as it slows a little bit out the back. 8:55 with an 8. So Acton now we'll have to come back during the all run. 9:53 at 141 on the left side for Rovik. So Brian Acton and Jay will have to work hard to get back to where they need to be, because right now, if he turned in the numbers, they would move from number 1 to number 2 by less than 1/100 of a second. Speaking of somebody that wants to move back into the top spot, Jeremy Ortiz coming back in the water box next to Derek Drake, but the pair on the starting line is CJ Durbin left-hand side. He will line up with the Mustang on the right-hand side of Patrick Siss. That's a 2004 model Mustang, the last year for the New Edge SN95 version. CJ laid down his best run on the Radial setup. He went 5:22 last time. And you see him goes 5:36, 1:33, so he will not improve on what he ran previously. On the opposite side, 9:43, 1:48 for Sis Century. Now for Jeremy Ortiz. Jeremy so desperately wants to go something 8.50 or slower. All right, attention in the pits, attention in the pits. I will take my C group. C is in camshaft. C is in Chrysler. C group, I will take you now, please. C group. C group, I will take you now, please. C group. C group, I will take you now, please. So Jeremy Ortiz and Derek Drake. Drake on the right-hand side, the Chevy 2 Nova. So far through the week, he has slowed a little bit each day. A 5:48 has been his best pass so far, but all eyes left side. As Jeremy Ortiz so desperately wants to get something to get around McMahon's entry. McMahon already laid down an 8:51, so Jeremy 5:07. is not good enough. Literally kick you right in the neither regions, unfortunately. That is not good enough. As good of a run as it is, it's still not good enough. If he turned it in, he means he would be behind McMahon by about 0.02 of a second. So TJ Linebaugh, Ken Cuttle Jr. Cuttle has already run the number he needs to with the Aqua 70 Chevelle. Now TJ got out of the gas less time, so he wants to make a good run here. Cuttle spins the tires a little. Horse is rolling, and this could be close to 850. How about 850 with a 7? Right on the 850 number with a 7 at the end of it at 159 with the laundry taking off some of the top end.
I don't know what the hell laundry.
A 985 at 138 is a little bit of a slowdown there for Ken Cuttle Jr., but he already has a better time slip in his grasp. And Mike McMahon coming back again. He already has an 8.513. He would like to nail it down here and go 8.50 something. He's staging against Blake Mushin on the left-hand side, and he will not get it as the car just knocks the tires loose. Blake left side goes 999 with an 8. At 132, 914, 157, you see all the ET that was lost when the car struck the tires on the right-hand side. KJ Kroger sitting in the water box. Now the 999 is almost a little too slow for Blake. He's still top 4 in Pro Dial Your Own, but the slowest run he has made this week has been 997.9. So he needs to go between 997.9 and 993.8. That's when he needs to go between. KJ Kroger, on the other hand, he is running in Street Race 275, so that's as quick as you want to go, as close to 850 and slower. Now, he made a call for head gaskets last night, took the cylinder heads off it, and found out that it had melted some stuff. So they managed to get it welded, they managed to get it decked, and they managed to get it fired at 2:30 in the morning and managed to get it here. Now, he has already made a pass. Granted, it's not as quick as he would like. But KJ can actually say that he has completed 6 summer with a lot of thrashing. 11:55, 1:31. And Dean Anderson, Jesse Nelson will come back. Nelson on the left, Dean Anderson on the right. Anderson currently sitting in the number 3 spot, locked in that battle for Street Race 275. Now on the opposite side, Jesse Nelson is locked in the battle for heavy metal. Now Jesse on his first lap laid down 776 at 174. So it's right in line with his best of the week. We'll see if he turned it up here a little bit, because Clark Rosenstengel did not make a full pass. And we'll have to see kind of how things play out here, because Clark's car has been in the 720s. And here comes Brian Goldstone in the water. Your overall leader is going to make his first shot of the day. So, folks, this could determine if a 3-time champion will be crowned here at 6 Summer, as well as our overall leader. Right now on the starting line, Dean Anderson and Jesse Nelson. Nelson's car leaving way soft and having lots of problems. He's going to pull over. Dean Anderson goes 8.56.0 at 1:57, and that will not help him out. He went 8.52 with a 6 earlier, and that's not going to help him. But Jesse Nelson helping us a bunch by pulling over to the side, stopping and shutting it down. Now again, Nelson already went 776, so at the moment Nelson is in the lead in his category. So Brian Goldstone going to make the single shot here. Folks, this is your overall leader and number one in Ultimate Iron. This is Brian Goldstone, a guy who has participated in well north of 20 Dragon Drives, a majority of them in this 1973 AMC Javelin. Now, it has not been an easy road for him so far. Now, in the first 2 days, he laid down some pretty solid numbers. But then yesterday at Tri-State, it took him until the final shot with the lanes closed to be able to get the number that he wanted. He went 725 on the first shot, had some transmission issues, I believe, because the car didn't really move all that much. They took it back to the pit area, worked on it, came back during the all run in the final minutes, and laid himself down a 666 at 222 miles an hour. So Goldstone with a chance to solidify and nail down the overall title, as well as his class title. This would be the third year in a row that Goldstone would claim overall. In my opinion, without doing the math, just about anything in the sixes should cover it. Goldstone staging up. And out the back door he goes. 671 and 218 miles an hour, and that will put the capper on it. Folks, put your hands together. That is the 3-time Six Summer champion, Brian Goldstone. .10.06 at 137 for Tina Constados, left-hand side. 986 at 137 on the opposite side as we get into the C group. Actually, I apologize. Tina Constados was on the right-hand side, 986 at 137 right side. 10.06 at 137 on the left-hand side for Mark Matthews, Challenger Hellcat. My apologies. I was having a conversation up here in the tower about the award ceremony later tonight, and I got my lanes mixed up. Side. Jay Hansen in the Jeep goes 1079 and 128, 1048, 127 on the opposite side of the racetrack for Dean Wilhelm. That'll bring up your current dial your own leader, Suzanne Rooker. Rooker is in the Cadillac CTSV with what she wrote on the side window yesterday as body by deer. You see the hood is kind of crumpled up on it a little bit, but it has not affected the vehicle's performance that badly, as she will stage here against Tony Woodson. Woodson in the Z06 Corvette. Now for Suzanne Rooker, she wants to run something between 1320 and 1318. She goes 13:09. She's about a tenth of a second too quick. She would not want to hand that in. That would expand the amount of space between her quickest and slowest runs, so that would not allow her to make the best run. And it would drop her out of the lead. My C group cars, listen up please. Your lanes will close in 25 minutes, C group cars. Lanes will close in 25 minutes, so plan accordingly. C group, your lanes will close in 25 minutes. C group, your lanes will close in 25 minutes. Racers and crew, if you have not yet gotten hot dogs or ice cream sandwiches, they are available. Again, the SICK Magazine Barbecue Hot Dog Ice Cream Truck is still located, I believe, unless it's moved. Oh, they're now located behind the merchandise trailer. So again, it is not mobile at the moment, but if you would like to grab yourself a hot dog or an ice cream, those are available at the SICK the Barbecue Hot Dog Ice Cream Truck. The Disco Nova comes up next in the 1995 model Mustang on the opposite side of the racetrack.
These are kind of slow. I'm not going to bother. I'll tell you what, the guys who pulled up to buy firewood from me the other day.
Running in the Rowdy Radial class, that's TJ Hodge. TJ goes 6:03 at 1:16 to the 8th mile. On the opposite side, the Shelby GT 500 of James Hellerman, he goes 13:60 at 1:03. So we will see James back around, as he did not have the 60 foot that he wanted. That'll bring up Tim Poston next. Poston in the Chevrolet Corvette on the left-hand side, and he will line up against the diesel pickup truck on the right-hand side. Dustin West in the diesel, and he is currently leading the SIG Week Freaks diesel category. Poston goes 10:06 with a 3 at 135, 10:84 at 126 for Dustin West's diesel. That would be his slowest run of the week, but it's going to keep him in the lead if he handed it in, without knowing what Jared Anderson is going to do with his D150. So it is still not officially done there, but it is a pretty solid shot. Jason Bertram comes up next. The all-motor 64 Chevelle left side. He'll line up with Chuck Hoekstra. Hoekstra is the LS Turbo Swapped 1986 model LTD station wagon. For the all-motor 64 Chevelle of Jason Bertrand. Brings up our next pair of cars, the S550 Mustang and the 55 Chevy 4-door. The Chevy on the left. Cody has been in the 1030 range most of the week. He goes 1044. He slows down a little bit here. And probably will not want to turn that time slip in because as of right now, Bailey currently sits 32 thousandths between runs. So he would try to get back into that range. On the opposite side, 1173, 118. For Tom D'Asolo. That'll bring up the Shelby GT 500 left side. The looks like, well, maybe it, yeah, no, it does have a Hellcat badge on it. That is a Hellcat Charger on the right side. Gary Dufek in his 2021 Shelby GT 500. The gray car has been a best of 1087 so far this week. He'll line up against the Mopar on the opposite side of David Lift. 10:07 with an 8. And that is going to be his best pass of the week by a couple hundredths of a second, 135. 12:01 at 112 for the Shelby as they slow down. Dean Tepin and Brett Attila come up next. Tepin in the Hillborn ejected stack 65 Nova on the right-hand side. You see one of our photographers for the week, Dominic D'Amato, out there getting shots. A lot of the stuff that you'll see in SICTA magazine. Dom has worked with us on 3 different events so far and done a great job with a lot of great shots, including we got some pretty decent rollers over the week, including some of them in the rain and a couple of them close to nightfall. He'll line up with the wheel standing Cutlass of Brett Attila left side. And just like most of the week, Attila's car just off the starting line. As both of them roll towards the finish line, Attila will go 1028, 125, 1063 at 125 on the opposite side for the naturally aspirated ride of Dean Tepin. I'll bring up the Chevy Camaro right-hand side. Your left on the Freedom Plus stream. And the diesel pickup truck.
Yeah, I think if you put radials on this ride, you'll pick up the front car. Yeah.
This is Jarrett Anderson's D150. Currently sits number 2 in diesel. 4th overall in the 6-week drinking category. Goes 1168, 1278 for the Mustang. So I'm going to bring up the Bad Influence Nova 2 gasser. Running against the turbocharged 6-cylinder Grand National on the right-hand side. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you see the what they call bug or backup girl that is standing on the starting line. That is a staple of drag racing, and a lot of the gassers, including some of the gasser associations, actually still put those in play as the cars literally mimic what they would have looked like during the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So it's pretty cool to see that they still do this in a lot of areas of the United States, and the gassers will be a central theme of SICK Smokies that'll take place in October when SICK does that for the first time across Tennessee, North Carolina, and Alabama. Gasser left side is Jay Noble, currently sitting number 3 in the gasser class. He goes 1066 for Noble at 122, 1091, 121 for the Grand National. Probably running in the Sig Week Freaks category, that's Ryan Palmer's Grand National. That's right in line with one of his best passes of the week so far. That'll bring up the Cadillac and the Camaro next. The four-door Cadillac CTSV. And the fifth winner. 2013 model. He's been in the upper 11s most of the week. The Caddy, on the other hand, running in the naturally aspirated category, that's Isaac Hurst. Hurst goes 11:37 at 117, 12:23 at 107 for the Camaro. Speaking of Camaros, that'll bring up a 1968 model. It's an interesting mix between it here. We have a 68 model Camaro with 67 glass and 67 grille and 67 taillights. It's an interesting mismatch here. And they will stage against the Bullet Mustang. Ford made these in 2001. It's a D-badged Mustang with a Bullet emblem on the back and a billet aluminum shifter knob as well as using the other cars. They made them in green, blue, and black. 1014-130 for the Bullet of Scott Mitchell. Left-hand side, 1144 for the Camaro driver at 116. That was John Mortensen. The Ford pickup truck. Alex Johnson's 1986 F-150 is running in the unlimited category, so probably something in the frame or the suspension that disqualifies it from running in other categories, and that is why he is in unlimited, and it looks like he is just going to stage it to get his 20-second time slip. That is legal, folks. All you have to do is stage the vehicle under power, and you get a 20-second time slip. So if your car or truck is having problems and all you want to do is stage it to get the time slip, you can do so. C Group, you've got about 2 minutes left before I close your lanes. C Group, you've got about 2 minutes left before I close your staging lanes. C Group, final call to the lanes. C Group, final call to the lanes for this session. C Group, final call to the lanes for this session. Colvin will come up next. Blackwing edition. The pickup truck goes 10:09 and 136. 11:42 on the opposite side for Mike Pietrangelo. Excuse me. 2024 Cadillac CTSV Blackwing edition. He goes 11:42, 126. That brings up another one of our gassers. Left-hand side, that's Marty it's Marty Pixler. I'm having a hard time reading with the sun being right where it is. He's going to stage up with Michael Cole on the right-hand side, the Dodge Avenger. He is a multi-time six-summer participant. He's running in the modified category. Looks like with this run, he will nail down a second or third. Lock up number 2 for Michael Cole. It actually almost duplicates his run from yesterday. He went 10:45.0. Now to bring up the Corvette versus 66 Chevy 2 battle next. Lance Scott comes up left side. He's running in the Dollar Your Own category with the 66 Nova. It's been in the low 11s most of the week. He will stage up with the one and only Jake Mansky, the man otherwise known as Chorts. I believe that's actually the car that is known as Chorts, but Jake is doing his best to extend his Corvette. 1091 at 133 for Chorts. 1128 at 114 on the opposite side for the Nova. That'll bring up the turbocharged Ford Fairmont alongside the Dodge Challenger on the right-hand side. The Fairmont left-hand side is Keith and Grace Fenstead. Grace is actually driving this week after being co-pilot for the last 2 years, and Keith has taken a step back to watch as Grace has really come into her own here this week. She has made a handful of low 10-second time slips, and she's trying to get her license in this, so we will see her in the single digits next time. She's staging up here against the Mopar on the opposite side that is running in the stick shift class. That's Rick Geray's car. And actually it looks like Grace might not have staged in time. So unfortunately she will not get any data. Rick in the stick shift Mopar goes 1373 at 99 miles an hour. That'll bring up Mike Turner and Thomas Balkowski. Balkowski's 1962 Oldsmobile and Turner's 1970 Dodge Dart Swinger. Both of these cars actually competed on 666 that we did 1,400 plus miles of Route 66 last October. So Mike Turner, right-hand side, the Dodge Dart Swinger, and this car has competed in a lot of drag and drives. Turner has been officially adopted into the Reimars family. I guess his paperwork finally went through. It took a while, but I guess his paperwork took a while. Might have circled the globe a couple times. On the other side, the 1962 F5 Oldsmobile. Now, it is not quite to Brian Crane's standards of shaking the window glass in the tower, but it's close. First, 1043, 130, 1119, 117 on the opposite side for Mike Turner's Mopar. That'll bring up the 99 S10 and the Chevy Malibu, and it actually looks like we're going to have a little bit of cleanup work to do here. And once we complete the C group, we will do some racetrack touch-up, and then we will get ready for the all-run. Caleb Morris going 10:15 at 129, 11:44, 119 right-hand side. racetrack. Right hand side is Eric Musina. He goes 11:05 at 123 in the Charger, 12:64 at 108 on the opposite side of the racetrack for Corey Rusak in the 2014 Caprice. Lead in this car for the most drag and drive appearances. It's done Hot Rod Drag Week with it. I think his father said 5 different engine combinations at this point. It has a supercharged small block in it right now, a Gen 1 small block, by the way. Tom was very adamant about making sure that I did not tell people it was LS swapped. This is what happens when I take the word of racers that are not running the car. Somebody said it was LS swapped. I repeated it, and Tom said he would disown me. I never even saw the adoption papers. So his son Ian piloting the car this week. It has been in the 10s most of the week. He will stage up here opposite the Mopar left side of Rick Callahan. Callahan's 2020 model Challenger, not Charger. And he has been between 1026 and 1048. Yesterday he went 1032. So Ricky is looking for something in the 1020 to 1040 range, but actually, I mean, at this point he could, make his personal best pass of the day. And Ian has problems. Car launches right off the starting line, right over the side. So Ian appreciate that. Ricky will complete the run, 10:33, right about what he ran yesterday at 1:25. But you saw the Ian Hogshead car just move right off the starting line. It started to bring the front end up and then fell silent. So we're going to be on hold here for at least a minute or two while we figure out what's going on with that.
Yeah.
Walter Ziltner comes up next, left-hand side. The 1929 Model A has been a best of 12:25 as he continues to improve the performance of the Model A left side. He'll line up here opposite Steve Shepard's 2003 Model Lightning, one of 2 second-generation Lightning. And the Lightning go 10:36 at 123, 11:14 at 120. That is the best run by far for Walter's ride, by well over a second.
Got a John Deere tractor next.
Comes up next, left-hand side, the Truck Tour. And he will stage up with Cole Reimers, the Purple Mustang. And Cole will go 10:32 at 1:30. 1386 at 94 miles an hour for Jesse's very uniquely constructed truck door. He has taken that to a lot of drag and drives. Like I said, he has done 28 total, the majority of them in that vehicle. And a it looks like a couple of gassers waiting at the water box. Yes. So Riley Grabiak and Rick Reimars. So this is Rick's first shot at the racetrack, and this one could unofficially lock up the gasser category, as Rick has the incoming lead over Darwin Peterson and Jay Noble. Now Darwin Peterson is going to have the best shot to do something. Riley has been in the 1060 range. But Rick Reimars can pretty much lock it up right here if he puts together a solid run. So Riley Grabiak, left-hand side, Rick Reimars, right-hand side, in the Ford-powered Willys. Now Reimars 10-11 at 127, and that should unofficially lock up the gasser title for Rick Reimars. 1084, 122 for Riley Grabiak. A good run in the 37 coupe. That means we will have at least a little bit of a Reimars celebration at the winner's circle and the award ceremony later, because the 1011 should lock it down for Rick Reimars. That'll bring up the Steadfast Veterans.org Ficklefish. That's what the S10 pickup truck is called, the Ficklefish of the Moore family. I believe Gus is videoing this year. He drove the 1 year, and now Mike Moore, Dad, is back behind the wheel. And it looks like they are saying, hang on, let the other side go ahead and go. This left-hand side is having some issues. So it looks like they're going to send right side on a single. So the El Camino will make a single shot. And go 1266, 112. For Jeffrey Pagano. So now Mike Moore will make a shot. Looks like they may have had to check on something. The National Aspirated LS Power Ficklefish. He has been in the 11s most of the week. And he'll do another one right here, 1170 at 112 miles an hour for Moore's ride. And it looks like Ian Hogshead has it figured out, because he has returned to the water box right side with the Disco Nova. That'll bring up our next pair. Left-hand side, the Mustang of Dan Evans, the 1991 model. He's running in the stick shift category. And on to from the starting line, is going to blow it. It was 1147, 126. He will have completed his week, but not the run he wanted, and left side has problems. Coast through at 1611. It completes the week. Well, you see the Mustang going slow, just 55 miles an hour, so might be having some issues left side. Once again, there should be nobody coming to the lanes at the moment unless you are in quarantine, meaning first, second, or third in your class and quicker than 850. It's not one or the other, but it is both. So if you are quicker than 850 and first, second, or third in your class, you can still come to the lanes as quarantine is open. But outside of that, nobody should be coming to the lanes. Not at the moment. As we will finish out the C group and then get ready for our all run. Left side, the Buick. Joe Nowak. Again, the very unique Ranger pickup truck. Kind of like a pre-runner style pickup truck. That's Ryan Zelman in the stick shift class. Left side is going to go 1175 at just 91 miles an hour. Trying to hit that bullseye of 16, which has already been hit dead on with a 2. And the right-hand side, the stick shift car, having some issues, and goes 24 seconds and 83 hundredths, to be exact, at 59 miles an hour. Waiting on our next pair as we have a little bit of work to do to the right side. Folks, once again, I know it is getting later in the day and some of you have already opted to either make your way around, but there are still quite a few of you here, and I would encourage you to stick around because a lot of these cars, now that they have made the run to secure their class title, it is very possible that we will see some of them come back and try to improve on what they previously ran. And I already see a couple of them sitting in quarantine as Craig Douglas and Nick and David Deal back in the quarantine lane. They want to try to improve on what they ran. I know Douglas is chasing Jesse Nelson, so might be able to close that gap a little bit more as Nelson has made one run and then had some problems on the second run. But Douglas has either secured a second or third place finish, depending on what Clark Rosenstengel does when he comes back. But for right now, we will bring up our next pair. Left-hand side, Johnny Hopewell. Hopewell's 1965 Falcon. He's been between 1078 and 1114. The lineup group, that's Zachary Baum right side. Shelby DT 350. He goes 1063 at 103. 1124 at 121 for Hopewell, but with some smoke out of it.
What, you want to say how cool their car is? You want to give them high fives?
So we're going to put everything on hold for a minute while we take a look.
Congratulations, guys, for making it. Even though we're in 6th Ward, it's still a hell of a journey. And it took me 4 days to realize that.
All right, so it looks like we're going to go down and take a look at that left-hand side. See if there's any fluid down there. As the car looked dry when it came by our top end, but they want to take a double look at it, so we're going to go on hold here for just a minute. We'll be right back. And we are back to action here. The 1980 model Mustang left-hand side, staging up against the late model Hemi Charger. Timothy Railsback on the left-hand side. Pretty interesting. Not sure if qualified. He's racing here against Scotty 2016 model Hellcat Charger. And the Charger will just eke out the win over the Mustang, who lifts early. 1162 at just 106, 1115, 123 on the opposite side of the racetrack. Racers, listen up, please. Racers, listen up, please. I've talked about this all week. It had been to where the first couple days we had some issues, and then thankfully they got resolved. Nobody did it until today, and now I'm already starting to get some people doing it. If you pre-stage before we call the next class, we will send you back to your pit area or make you wait until the very end. You should not be coming anywhere near the lanes unless you are in quarantine. We have not called the next group yet, so please stay in your pit area. I know a lot of you do want to run the all run when we call it, but do not come up and pre-stage. If we catch you, we will hang on to you until the end of the session, or we will send you back to your pit area. So please wait until we call you. Chip Appleton left-hand side going 10.98.0 on the Mercury Capri at 125, 12.38 at 108 on the opposite side of the racetrack for Riley Abel. That'll bring up our next pair, the Plymouth left-hand side, the Ford Mustang on the right-hand side. Plymouth on the left-hand side is the naturally aspirated rider of Ricky Gervais, the 73 Duster. Ricky will stage up opposite the Mustang on the left-hand side of the racetrack of Justin Morningstar. Justin's kind of a morning person. He's not an afternoon. Morningstar goes 10.44 with a 4 at the end of it at 1:14. You use up all the 4s, 10.53, 1:15 left side. Hopefully I got that correct. That's Brandon Shirk. No, it's an A8L, I believe. Sorry about that. Brandon goes 11.27 with an 8 at 123, 12.94 at 109 for the stick shift Maverick on the left-hand side of Casey Steinke. I don't think he's any relation to Rick Steinke, but never know. Rick Steinke is also a drag and drive guy. That brings up the beautiful 1968 model Camaro of Tim Grabiak. Grabiak staging up against the 2024 Chevy Silverado. So the burnout's completed. Next pair rolling towards the starting line. Like I said earlier, Tim Grabiak left-hand side. One of the Grabiak family that's out here. I believe they have 4 cars in contention. Beautiful 68 model Camaro, the Aqua car. Been in the 10s all week. He's lined up here. Their second 10.69 right in line with what Tim has been running. He went 10.68 and then 10.68 with a 1. If it wouldn't have been for yesterday, that would have been right on top of it, and he would have had an 11 thousandths total between his 3 runs. If that 10.92 got tossed out yesterday, yeah, they're sitting there talking about it. Love a early Camaro, and that thing is perfect. 10.74 for the Chevy Silverado pickup truck. And that'll bring up one of our Beetles against the Ford Mustang on the right-hand side. Nice little wheel stand there for the Beetle. I think we are down to Chuck Ryder. He is your current leader in the Beetle category. He's running the 11th most of the week, and he is going to get a 12.37 here as he slows just a bit to 106. On the opposite side of the racetrack, the New Edge Mustang of Ray Harris just clicked off an 11.25, 127. That'll bring up the Ram pickup truck on the supercharged GTO. The heavy metal pickup truck of the Dodge. That is Nicholas Wider. Nick he's had a tough week. He's got a couple of 10-second time slips, but then he also has day number 2 where he had a host of problems with it. He did stage it under power, though, so he's still in competition technically. He's lined up here against the supercharged GTO. The GTO in the unlimited category. That's, no, hang on a minute. That is not the correct number. 10.65 on the right side. 10.66 for Nick Whiter. I'm guessing Nick is another one out of Streetcar Shenanigans Performance. Speaking of Nick, is that another one of yours? He's not even listening. 10.58 at 125 for the GTO on the opposite side. That was, yep, Jacob Morrison. That is correct. Car number 29 in the 1966 GTO. I didn't see the grill, so it's hard to sometimes tell. The difference between the 66 and 67 grills is what tells you the difference. The 67 is a mesh stainless. 66 is a black with argent trim. Our next pair, Biff Rollins comes up right side. Biff was working on this Malibu station wagon in the hotel parking lot till almost midnight last night. Got to put back together and fire it up, and he is here. Racing Mark Albie. Albie is literally running away and hiding from it. 973, 141. And Biff is going to go 14.68, and he completes the week with that run right there.
What lane are we pulling from right now? Because I can't. Lane 11?
No, it said Morrison.
All right, let's go ahead.
The stick shift square body S10 pickup truck, staging up with the 1984 Cutlass turbocharged. It is Rick Tyler. Turbocharged Cutlass. Tyler goes 1031, 120. 1168, 120 on the opposite side, same speed, slightly slower ET for the S10 of John Powell. That'll bring up Brent Atwood. Now, Atwood is currently sitting just outside top 5 with the Buick Skylark. That is I believe, a 61 Buick. And he's lined up with Jeff Kurzak. Kurzak right here, if he completes this lap, I'm just going to let it happen. I'm not going to say anything. Still a Bauer Pro Charger Fed Mustang. And he will go 10.57 at 95 miles an hour. And folks, that will complete the first time that all 3 Kurzaks make it through the end of the week. 11.55, 6 at 105 for Atwood's ride. So the first time, and they have tried all 3 years. So Jeff, Nick, and Allie all completing their first ever 6 summer. They have all finished. That'll bring out the Shelby versus the 1990 Civic SI hatch with the very cool roof rack on it. Left-hand side, the Shelby belonging to Frank Veneziano. And Frank has made his best pass yesterday. But I still think he's going to make a good shot. He's a little off, though. 10.57, 134. Not improving on the 10.20. 10.88 for the Honda 131. It brings up a naturally aspirated and a stick shift ride next. Michael Higgins on the left-hand side. You see the 69 Chevelle, unfortunately, with some fresh damage to the fender, as well as a new front wheel that differs from the other 3. He had a accident in the rain, unfortunately, on Wednesday. Managed to get some help and made it here to the final day. He will stage up against the stick shift Pontiac Ventura. That is not a Chevrolet. That is a Pontiac Ventura of Corey Lagasse. Lagasse's 72 Ventura. His best run of the week so far. It's been 10:48. Chevelle and Lagasse finishes with an 11:59 at 1:30. Both of them will now officially complete Six Summer, but we may see both of them back to make another shot at the racetrack. All right, that brings up the supercharged big block pickup truck left lane and the S10 Blazer on the right-hand side in the naturally aspirated category. The left-hand side pickup truck is Eric Kearney, 1984 C10 pickup truck. It says white patina. And Kearney has made some good runs so far. 500 separating him. What does he lay down here? He goes 10:41, his quickest pass of the week at 1:27. 11:08 for the Blazer, 1:21 on the opposite side of the racetrack for Anthony Brown's entry. That brings up the milk truck. The big old Divco milk truck, ladies and gentlemen. And he will stage up here opposite Rick Dorn. Racers, crew, sick ward, media, and staff. If you have not had dinner yet, dinner is being served on the left side of the racetrack in front of the concession area by the pavilion. Go over and grab yourself some food. Once again, racers, competitors, co-pilots, crew, media, and sick ward, as well as staff. We will serve you dinner. Compliments of Sick the Magazine. It is located in front of the concession area by the pavilion. Go over and grab you some right now. So Dorn left side, the 2020 Mustang out of Florida, and the 1966 truck. The Fire family with the wheel standard. It has been, I believe, 11:03 so far. We'll take an 11:26 at 1:15, and Dorn goes 11:12 with a 3. He is about 37 thousandths under the number 16 bullseye. He is that close. So he'll bring it back and try it one more time.
Picture up a bit. Well, up to 60% of it. Oh, yeah.
That'll bring us up our next pair, the half-fast New Edge Mustang. And I did use the F word, half-fast, not half and then no F. We'll stage up against the 1969 GMC pickup truck, otherwise known as the Party Wagon. Always cool seeing this one back, and both of them are running in the bullseye category. Adam Malik on the right-hand side. On a 16 better than a 2, and neither one of them do it. 11:56 left side, 11:63 right side. It's not that the runs are bad, it just won't get you to the top spot in bullseye. That's all. Tina Constados comes back on the right-hand side, so I have a chance to get it right this time. And she will stage up opposite the Mopar.
Wonder if everybody's standing around Cletus or if everybody left.
I got figured out, been around them. Still think I want to try getting Sam's shiny shirt on my head.
.10.02 for Tina at 126, 10.07 at 122 on the opposite side of the racetrack for Mark Matthews Mopar. That'll bring up the Disco Nova left-hand side. And that'll bring up Douglas Snow in the Disco Nova. He's lining up against Suzanne Rooker. Suzanne in the caddy. She is trying to nail down the Dial Your Own Championship if she could. Right now, the Cadillac needs to run between 13:20 with a 0 and 9 if she wants to solidify it because nobody else is closer. She has an 11,000 spread between the numbers. And she goes 13:32. That's about a tenth of a second too slow. So she will have to come back during the all run to be able to finalize that. 11:24, 118 for the Nova left side. On the bullseye category, that's about 800s off the bullseye. Attention in the bits, attention in the bits. I will take all run. The all run category, all cars, all classes, all groups. All run. I will take you now, please. All run. I will take you now. I will also take quarantine to lane 1. Quarantine to lane 1, please. The diesel left side will go 10:51 at 131. 1386 on the opposite side of the racetrack for James Hellerman's GT500 Shelby. Once again, I have called all run, all cars, all groups, all classes, all run. I will take you down, please. And I will also take quarantine to lane number 1, please. Quarantine lane number 1. Coming up, Jason Bertram in the all-motor 64 Chevelle will face the 4-door 55 Chevy in our next matchup. Cody Bailey's 55 Bel Air and Jason Bertram sits left side in the low 10-second all-motor Chevelle. And both of them are making their second shots at the racetrack. Chevy 1030 at 130 left side. Once again, racers, crew, co-pilots, media, and sick ward, your dinner is now being served left side of the racetrack in front of the concession stand. Once again, racers, crew, co-pilots, sick ward, staff, and media. You can go grab yourself some dinner in front of the concession area on left side of the racetrack. That's tower side. Brett Attila, the wheel standing Cutlass, will come back left side. He will stage up here against the Mustang on the right-hand side of the racetrack, the S550 chassis of Gary Dufek. Once again, Brett Attila starts it's the next practice car that he first raced at 6 Summer last year and has done quite well with it for the second straight year. 10:25.8, 128 for Attila. 10:74, 126 for Dufek's entry. That'll bring up the second place diesel pickup truck. And Dean Tevin in the naturally aspirated 65 Nova. So Jared Anderson's 1990 Dodge. He has currently made a best run of 11:12. And I believe that Dustin West has pretty much solidified the diesel category based on what he has run so far. But Jared is still going to bring that thing around and continue to beat on it like it owes him money. Beautiful wheel stand out. 10:30 to 10:40 most of the week. And Tevin will go 10:35, 126, 11:39, and 117 for the diesel. Once again, my all-run category, all groups, all cars, all classes, all run. I will take you now, please. Quarantine lane number 1, please. Look at the gasser go up on the wheelie. I will be surprised if nothing is bent underneath that car as it goes 1278 at 102, 1274 at 110 on the left-hand side for Vincent Morris in the Camaro. Just absolutely insane, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of people will come out here and make a kind of a safety / checkout run and then they'll turn it up. Absolutely insane on that wheel stand. I think Whitty was going to catch me without actually catching him down there or something. By the way, Whitty has a new hardcover book that you need to go get, and I'm not just saying that because he mistakenly put me on a page. The Cadillac CTS comes down right-hand side is David Lips. Lips goes 10-10 with a 2 at the end of it, 135. Isaac goes 11-28, 118. That brings up Michael Cole in the Dodge Avenger. And they will stage up opposite the Caddy. That is a 2024 Blackwing Edition Cadillac.
Can you keep up for a minute? I'm going to go in the restroom. Yep.
Running 124, 1148, 128. After 3 years of trying, the Kurzak family has finally completed their children's 6 summer period. Father, daughter, son. Left-hand side is Lance Scott in the Nova, and he goes 11:23 at 119. On the opposite side of the racetrack, Marty Pixler's Chevy 210 goes 11:81 at 111, and that will officially wrap up the C group.